Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. By virtue of the power vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby constitute this congregation of the University of the Free State for the awarding of certificates and diplomas and the conferment of degrees in the faculties of law and natural and agricultural sciences. I therefore award certificates and diplomas and confer degrees on all the candidates that the respective deans present to this congregation. In addition, I thereby award certificates and diplomas and confer degrees on those whose names appear in the program but who are not present here today. Please be seated.
Well, good afternoon to you all, and it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to this auspicious and joyous occasion on behalf of the University of the Free State. Before I start with a small message that I want to convey as a welcome message to the graduates, I would like to welcome certain members on the platform party. First of all, I would like to welcome the Chancellor, Dr. Khotsu Mogele, that he will be presiding the ceremony this afternoon. Then our guest speaker, Mr. Dan Crick, is a member of the University of Free State Council and is also president of Agri-SA. Hearty welcome to you, sir. We also have the chair of council, Mr. Willem Lowe. Welcome to you, Mr. Lowe. And then we have some of our executive members that are presented here, our vice rectors. We've got the vice rector operations, Professor Prakash Naidu, and he will be the program director this afternoon. And we also have the acting vice rector academic, Professor Henry Krokamp. Then we have two acting registrars, Mrs. Elna van Pletsen and Mr. Anban Naidu, as well as the representative of the convocation, Dr. Peter de Tooy, that is with us this afternoon. And then we have representation by all our 7 faculties also on the platform. So I also would like to say welcome to all of them. Now, when we talk about graduations, graduations is supposed to be a moment of celebration. It's joyous events. Everybody should be happy because the graduate should be happy because he or she gets their degree. The parents, the guardians, the family members, the loved ones should also be happy because their loved ones get a degree. And the academic staff will also be happy because they have seen some of their products that ultimately have achieved a qualification at the end of the day. I don't know whether they would be happy to see them leave the institution, but nevertheless, they would be happy for that achievement. So therefore, graduation ceremonies shouldn't be always articulated as not a church service. It should be dignified, but it should be marked by a sense of that celebration. And I would like to see that this afternoon. But I also have to stress that amongst the graduates, there are many that have done a lot dealt with a lot of hard work and also sacrifices during their years of studies. And those sacrifices could either be financial or emotional. And I think we all are glad for you that you have dealt with that in a certain way. Not only the graduates themselves, but the family members too. But there are also many of our graduates here this afternoon that would be the first to obtain a university education in their family. And I think for that, we should say, well done. And I think we should give them, in advance, a hand of applause. So although the function this afternoon, the graduation ceremony, would be focusing on getting your qualification, getting your degree, whatever that degree might be, in the different faculties, in the two faculties, that is not the only focus of the University of the Free State. We ultimately would like not only to provide professionals, but we would like to graduate professionals that can change society out there. And to be able to do that, there's often a set of values that guide us to reach exactly that. And I believe that there are a set of key values at the University of the Free State that would set our graduates apart from others. And that's the value of critical inquiry. It is that component that would always like to ask and to find out more. Because that's the only way in which you're going to fully understand what the issues are. And in fact, it allows the ability of receptiveness to alternative ideas that it engenders. And that's one key part that you're going to need and hopefully you're going to utilize in your professional life. The other one is the one of social responsiveness and service. You know, if we look at South Africa as a country, forget about the political issues, but if we're looking at about unemployment, about poverty, about inequality, there is a role that we as individuals, and more so as professionals, that we have to play to be able to impact lives of others also positively. And is that value of social responsibility and service that is quite crucial. But then there's one last value that I would like to highlight, and that's the value of integrity. Because everything can fall around you, but that's the value that represents you as an individual. That is the value that will decide in your own right what is right or what is wrong. It's not a system that's going to tell you that. Systems will fail you. And that value of integrity is hopefully also a value that I would like you to take with you as you enter your professional life. So, again, hearty welcome to all of you, and I hope that you're going to celebrate the achievement of your loved one with all of us this afternoon. Thank you.
Dumalang, Sanbonani, Mudak, and good afternoon. Now, our Vice Chancellor said this is a celebration, and we'd like you to celebrate. And of course, you have to do that But before we do that, I just want to make a few announcements. Now, as a university, we make use of official photographers. You will see them inside the hall. You'll see some of them just outside the hall. But we also allow freelance photographers. And of course, these photographers are not accredited by the university, and as such, we have no control over the quality. But of course, you have the right to use them, so we'll be grateful that you make those decisions with caution. Now, those of you who arrived just after the pre-ceremony announcements, I want you to refer to the bottom of page 2 for some of the other rules pertaining to this graduation. Now, today is the time to celebrate the achievement of each graduate. And as our Vice-Chancellor said, it's a day of celebration. So you're welcome to clap, you're welcome to ululate, you're welcome to praise your colleague, your friend, your loved one, your child. But we will be grateful if you can keep it very, very short, because as much as it's important for you to hear the name of the loved one being called out, it's also important for the next name to be well heard by their loved one. So we'll be grateful if you can do that and make sure that we respect each other so that everybody enjoys the celebration. Of course, we strive to conduct these ceremonies in a dignified manner, and we would be grateful if you could remain seated until the end of the graduation. We also ask, of course, if you've got cell phones and you want to keep it on, we'd be grateful, of course, if you could make sure those cell phones are on silent, because, ringing cell phones will not only disturb our sound, but it'll also disturb the ceremony as a whole. So I thank you very much in anticipation for your kind cooperation, but again emphasize, please celebrate and enjoy this day, because this will be a great day. I also want to remind graduandi, and I'm talking specifically to the graduandi today, when you come right here in front of the stage, from here to there, it's going to be a dignified walk. I know you like to dance, some of you, etc., but I assure you, at the end of the ceremony, we're going to play lovely music. You've got plenty of space, and you'll have this whole floor to dance. And the idea, of course, for keeping it in that way, for one is the dignity. Also, because of the time that we have, we want to finish as quickly as possible so that you can go on with the extended celebrations after the graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, and I think it's already been introduced as Mr. Dan Creek. He's originally from Pretoria, where he matriculated. He's referred to as a farmer, Dan Creek, and is currently and obviously a farmer, being the president of Agri South Africa after a long involvement in organized agriculture. He completed a BSc Agriculture degree in Animal Science in 1992, followed by an honors in 1994, and a master's degree in 2000. You don't have to guess where he studied. He studied right here at the University of Free State, so we're also proud to have him as an alumnus. Mr. Creek, who farms with South Devon cattle near Tweeling in the northeastern Free State, was recently selected to serve on an advisory panel on land reform appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa to support and advise the Interministerial Committee on Land Reform. And you have been hearing about land reform, land expropriation. He's one of our key members that is serving in that committee. He's also a member of the UFS Council. You'll find more about him in your program, a full CV there. But I also wish to announce, very recently he was awarded with the Newsmaker of the Year award from the newspaper Beeld. And this award he received together with Nick Serfontein, which we're also proud to announce is also a farmer based in the Free State, in Edenville in the Free State. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear an exciting talk by none other than our own alumnus and our council member, Dr. Dan Creek. Let us invite together Dr. Dan Creek.
Honourable Chancellor, Honourable Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, dear fellow students, I think I can say that. What a wonderful occasion. This is probably one of the greatest honours that has been bestowed upon me to do something like this. I've walked the campus many a day, but nothing like this. And it's a huge honour for me to give you a message today. I'm going to speak from the heart. I used to write speeches and stuff, but that doesn't work. I want to speak from the heart and just speak to you all. Now, all that I ever wanted to do since I was a little boy was to farm. There were three things that I wanted to do. I wanted to farm, I wanted to study agriculture, and I wanted to study agriculture at Koffsies. So I did all three of those, and then I went on to farming. And that's all I wanted to do, farm with cattle and do what I love. And then I did the thing that you should be very, very careful of, is to be opinionated and give your opinion to everybody. And then started a long road of organized agriculture. Now, farming is basically applied animal science, plant sciences, economic sciences, and social sciences. That's farming. But when you venture into organized agriculture, that is where science meets the law and regulation. So, and that is not something, Professor Vermeulen, that they teach us when you study agriculture. You think farming is just farming, but when you go into farming, you will understand, and you go into organized agriculture, it's a totally different world. There's laws and regulation and all sorts of things that you've got to take cognizance of. So science meets the law, and then you meet politics. And that is the world that I'm in now. We are at a critical stage in our country's history. We have great work to do in terms of land reform. I serve in all sorts of places where you meet the most interesting people. I met the President, I met the Chief Justice this year, I met His Majesty, the Zulu King, and it's a great experience. But there's one thing in that nexus of science and law and politics that they don't teach you. And maybe you're born with it, or maybe you're not. But what you need to survive there or to take part is something, and maybe I should call it emotional intelligence, maybe it's respect, but it's the ability to listen to people, to try to understand where everybody else is coming from, and to forge partnerships for the future. Now, my question to you as students is, where would you learn that if you do not learn it here? Now, when I was a student, the audience didn't look like it's looking now. And I think you have the greatest experience as students to be at a university as white students and black students, and I hope you took the time to get to know one another and make friends and try to understand where everybody is coming from. Because we didn't have that. And if you want to do organized agriculture or anywhere else in the business world where science and policy meets with politics, you've got to be able to forge partnerships and relationships. If you cannot do that, you will make no progress. So now I'm coming to you as students. Or maybe before I get to that, let nobody tell you that the agricultural sector is going down. The agricultural sector is on the up. And let nobody tell you there won't be farming in this country. It's illogical to think that there won't be farming anymore. There's a great future for farmers and everybody, and I'm going to come to, while the law students might think I'm talking to the farmers and the scientists now, I'm going to tell you why you all have a future in this. Now, at Agri SA, where I serve, we've got more lawyers working for us than agriculturalists. Because everything you do in organized agriculture is based in law. There's more than 100 laws, more than that maybe, applicable on agriculture. And the agricultural sector provides a great space for scientists and lawmakers and policymakers as a career. And I can assure you, if that is your field of interest, and you want to equip yourself and maybe study further, I'm telling you now that you will be an expert, and you will be an expert that you cannot find anywhere else. There's not a lot of people that can bring the law and agriculture, the science and the law together and be in that space. You will be an absolute expert. You will be a wanted commodity. You can make your price. And it's the same for the farmers. I always tell the farmers who don't want to send their kids to study agriculture, and I say, please don't do that. Let them come and study agronomy and soil sciences. If you do that, I studied animal sciences, but if you take those two subjects, you are a wanted commodity. You can make your price in the market when you step out of here. So let nobody tell us there's not going to be an agricultural sector. Let nobody tell us that. So now I'm coming to US students. And there was a movie in my time, Back to the Future, with Michael J. Fox. Who saw that movie? It's a very old movie. If you haven't seen it, don't worry about it. So I'm going to read you about our future and the values of our future. And I'm going to read from the preamble of the Constitution. There's a very specific reason I'm doing that. We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of the past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. We therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic, so as to heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by law. Improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person, and build a united and democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. May God protect our people. Now, the law students might understand very well why I'm reading the preamble to the Constitution, but the science and agricultural students might wonder where am I going with this? Now, the Constitution and amending the Constitution is so topical now, but I'm not going to speak about that. It doesn't matter on which side of the debate you're on. That's not what I'm going at. The science students, the agricultural students, you will have to provide us with the research. You will have to identify the challenges and the problems, and as scientists, you will have to provide us with research and solutions for a better future. And there are many, many applications of that. And the law students, you will have to take cognizance of the research. And you will have to draft legislation and regulations based on the science. And you actually need each other. You cannot do policy and policy work and create a better future if law students and agricultural and science students do not find one another. And you will need that skill that I spoke about, emotional intelligence, to understand, to seek consensus, because not everybody agrees on the things that we talk about. And you will have to draft policy and regulations and laws, and you will have to measure that against the Constitution and make sure that social justice is served, and that we recognize the injustices of our past, and that we can rectify them, and that we can rectify them in a way in which we uphold the civil liberties which everybody has strived for in our country. And this is the task that you as students will have to take up. Now, I'm going to end off by saying you have inspired me, you have inspired your parents, you have inspired, hopefully, yourself and your friends, and hopefully go on to inspire South Africa and create a future for us that will hopefully inspire us all. Because I'm telling you now, we are in a desperate time in our country, and we desperately need young leaders, scientists, and lawmakers that can provide a future for us all. We desperately need young leaders and leadership skills and inspiration. So from my side, thank you for the opportunity. Congratulations on today. Enjoy the day. This is a special day. I can remember every time that I went up here, I remember how stressed I was that I don't do something wrong here or whatever. Don't worry about that. That'll go fine. And just enjoy the day, and all of the best for your futures. And may God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Creek. I think I invited him to be a doctor, so I deliberately did so. So I'm sure he's going to be next move a doctor. Shall we give him another round of applause? And of course, the vital message is passed today is that you cannot see sciences and law separate. All our disciplines are linked, and we must remember that at all times we are linked in some way. So thank you very much again, and thank you for the wonderful words, Mr. Creek. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the musical item that's going to be played today. Now, it's taken from Georges Bizet's 1863 French opera, The Pearl Fishers. This has become one of the best-known pieces in Western opera. To perform at the back of the Holy Temple, and how apt is that today, also known as the Pearl Fishers Duet, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Maruping Mokalaka and Fetz Mofokeng. Put your hands together for them, please.
Munane sul de quella trasparenza lì con fame consine come su me come possa me da non se ne non repare non se ne ne che rienne non sapare rienne non sapare Dero serrame
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our own Mariping and Fets. Now, they were accompanied by our own graduation instrumental ensemble led by Anton Esterese, and I think they deserve a better round of applause. Now, with that music, I'm sure it set the scene for you to come here and celebrate. Of course, we did say how you're going to celebrate, so it is now my pleasure to welcome the Acting Dean of Law, Dr. Mani Mulman, to present the candidates in the Faculty of Law. Dr. Mulman.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I have the privilege of requesting you to award and confer qualifications to and on the candidates that I introduce to you. Postgraduate Diploma in Financial Planning. Darsme D. Postgraduate Diploma in Investment Planning. Your name. Thank you. Paloi K.Y. Postgraduate Diploma in Labor Law. Bebe K.F. Kobe D.K. Kobe G.D. Dibinkonzo N.B. Fanele N.M. Libello, MT, and the Diploma with Distinction. Maruping, TL. Musese, PD. Motupeng, PP. Nalidzani, NH. Nzonda, S. Inyafosa, SP. Shiburi, JO. Sionzana, MA. Stallenberg, MB. Van Wyk, JRL. Willie, KN. Windvogel, SF, and the Diploma with Distinction. Zulu, MV. The Bachelor of Law with specialization in financial planning law. Mpana, PM. Bachelor of Laws. Bireng, SC. Brandt, PK. Chetty, PP. Werok, M. Hubert, K, and the degree with distinction. Giba, HT. Lau, JT. Mohibidu, VTO. Mughlamunyane, D. Mukwena, TL. Nale, TD. Inyati, NSS. She, S. I now call upon the Dean, Natural and Agricultural Sciences, Prof. Dani Vermeulen, to present his candidates.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I have the privilege of requesting you to award and confer qualifications to and on the candidates that I introduced to you. We start with Agricultural Sciences, Advanced Diploma in Sustainable Agriculture in Rural Development. Beya M. BBMC. Abisha NM. Boyana S. Budaza ZS. Dastile M. Adina CS. Klungane M. Diabaza M. Diane N. Fishlani P. Rwambi M. Gumpe T. Heje N. Jack M.E. Jali N. Jonas M. Kunyana N.P. Koti N.V. Libala N.E. Mabese V.E. Makanda S. Madele L.A. Mafenuka B.W. Mahula K.V. Makasi S. Malane N. Matutu S.J. Mazibukwana N. Mbele BP. Mbijikane N. Bolekwa ZT. Magundwa Papeta NP. Mjali KN. Mlanzele NH. Sabah. Molefe RG. Kukola Mpulu NG. Glebe N. And then Devu P. Nazoso NG. Nkliji Wana MC. Congo SS. Peter LL. Sabongo MA. Toby N. Kolo Y. We go to the bachelor degrees. A Bachelor of Agriculture majoring in Agricultural Economics. Matimkulu B. Slapane R. Chancellor, Bachelor of Agriculture, majoring in Agricultural Management. Mabilu D. Mkize GI. Kutsulwane PQ. Mogorosi MP. Monyaki MR. Olivier JJ. Van Sail JA. Zama PC. A Bachelor of Agriculture, majoring in Animal Production Management. Badenhorst A. Burger A. Fourie JCL. Jansen van Vieren SM. Chancellor, Bachelor of Agriculture, majoring in Mixed Farming Management. Lombard JGH. Maluleke KA. Nkonza NN. A Bachelor of Agriculture, majoring in Wildlife Management. Snyman PC. Chancellor, a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, majoring in Agronomy. Tisane T. Okay. A Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, majoring in Agrometeorology. Mahemu SF. Chancellor, majoring Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, majoring in Animal Science. The Tui Ear. A Bachelor of Agriculture Honours, majoring in Agricultural Economics. Nuhamba S. A Bachelor of Science in Agriculture Honours, majoring in Agronomy. David PJ. Visser AP. A Bachelor of Science Honours in Agriculture, majoring in Plant Breeding. Bota FJ. Tulisa BP. Chancellor, a Bachelor of Science Honours in Agriculture, majoring in Plant Pathology. Semu E. Chancellor, we now do the Building Sciences. A Bachelor of Architecture Studiorum. Botma J. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Construction Management. Diseku K. Arakumetsi MG. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Quantity Surveying. Danief JL. Himan T. Nasons GL. We now go over to the Natural Sciences. A Postgraduate Diploma in Disaster Management. Dikoku MLE. Lunga NE. Chabalala MP. We do a Bachelor of Computer Information Systems. Retief E. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring in Computer Science and Business. Sekonyela M. Chancellor, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring in Computer Science and Physics. Chikuslambu N. A Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, majoring in Information Systems. Adam N. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Actuarial Science. Ngobese T. Chancellor, a Bachelor of Science majoring in Behavioral Genetics. Munare K. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Biochemistry. Mohatshani A.M. Sisulu A. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Biochemistry and Food Science. Motopeng N.I. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Biochemistry and Genetics. Rampitsang L.R. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Biochemistry and Microbiology. There's Sanyane M.M.A. Chancellor, a Bachelor of Science majoring in Botany and Genetics. Maluleke V.T. Zungu S.M. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Chemistry. Musia K.M. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Chemistry and Botany. Mofokeng N.F. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Chemistry and Food Science. Kane E. Well done. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Chemistry and Physics. Nsawaku O. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Econometrics. Kwaramba NT. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Environmental Geology. Higu G. Mabasa MM. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Forensic Science. Nkayi M. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Genetics and Zoology. De Wet M. Lewis C. Mankurane RK. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Geochemistry. Mautle FD. Chancellor, a Bachelor of Science majoring in Geography and Agrometeorology. Quina M. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Geography and Environmental Science. Lekalakala BI. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Geology. Olifant KJ. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Geology and Geography. Hang on. Liwela L. Mtsitsini MM. Nakedi K. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Geology and Physics. Well done. Nkazi NM. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Geology specialization. Ramasu TA. Swanepoel J. Plomelang O. Van den Heever JG. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Mathematics and Mathematical Statistics. Waka S. A Bachelor of Science majoring in Statistics and Accounting. Muliti T. Chancellor, a Bachelor of Science majoring in Statistics and Economics. Corsi D.L. Morisane KSF. Selebalo T.E. Chancellor, a Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Actuarial Science. Babele T.N. A Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Astrophysics. Kaplan Q. A Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Chemistry. Musese S.V. Serapalwane K.I. A Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Environmental Rehabilitation. Pretorius D. A Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Forensic Science. Makari A.H. A Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Geohydrology. Amakali S.R. A Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Geology. Malawutsi M. Mulane V.M. Ntswane R.N. Ranue R.M. Sefatsa K.T. Chancellor, and the last one, Bachelor of Science Honours majoring in Statistics. Bushekho M.N.
Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try it again. Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. This brings us to the end of the proceedings for this afternoon. All that I'm requested to do is to say a few thank yous and a short message to our graduates. Firstly, the graduates themselves. Your name has been called, you've walked across the red carpet, a noise was made around your name being called. You have every reason to be proud of what you've achieved, of the hard work that went into it, sacrifices that you had to make. Some of you had to make sacrifices in more than one area. Sacrifices in time spent to study, sacrifices in terms of resources that may have been a bit scarce, and choices had to be made. And today, you have every reason to be proud that after all those sacrifices, you are able to walk across the stage and people to acknowledge and recognize you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause collectively. May I please ask those who got their degrees with distinction or diplomas to please rise. It is, to get the degree or diploma is one thing, but to distinguish yourself to the point of getting your degree or diploma with distinction is a singular honor that I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and recognize. Ladies and gentlemen, let's acknowledge and recognize them. Thank you very much. I'm now going to ask you, the graduates, to please rise, all of you. In front of you and up on the stage sits people who were teachers, lecturers, senior lecturers, professors of yours during the course of your studies. But they were not the first ones to teach you. It started when you started school. All those who took you through grade school, primary school, high school, the ones sitting in front of you today are a mere proxy of those who have been part of your journey that you have traversed up to this particular point. Now, I know some of them you may not particularly like very much anymore because you thought that they were a little harder on you than you believed they ought to have been. As I said this morning, a few of you might actually get surprised by the lifelong relationships that develop despite some of the challenges that you may have experienced with these people sitting in front of you. I was in California recently, which is where I did my postgraduate training, to visit my PhD promoter, 94 years old. I left that lab in 1986, and I still go back there to say thank you to him because of the friendship and the relationship that developed between me and him and his family. I do hope that a few of you end up developing those kinds of lifelong relationships with the people sitting in front of you and on the stage. Now it is your opportunity to say, in the loudest voice possible, to these in front of you and all those that taught you up to here, thank you and congratulations. Just thank them, please. Thank them. Thank you very much. Please be seated. No, before you sit down, I've spoken about the sacrifices that you made to get to this point. But I'm sure I'll be reminded by each and every one of you that you were not the only ones who sacrificed. There were others who sacrificed for you to be able to be here today. Some of you are sitting on the bleachers to the left, to the right, and at the back. Many of them had to make hard choices for you to be here today. In terms of resources, again, some of you had to make difficult resource choices in terms of what's available for the rest of the family and what's available for you to be able to go through school. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now an opportunity for you to say thank you to them in very loud voice. Please do so. Thank you very much. Please be seated. In the absence, I want to say thank you and congratulations to Marupi Mukalake and Fets Mufukeng for leading us into this very impressive ceremony with song and music. In their absence, ladies and gentlemen, and the ensemble, let's give them a round of applause. And the Acting Dean of Law and the Dean of Agricultural and Natural Sciences, thank you very much for leading us so effectively and efficiently through this one. Professor Fameli and I could tell that Anband was kind of keeping you slow a little bit. You're wanting to do your usual competing with Professor Krokamp, which competition you'd never win, I need to say to you. Let's say thank you to the Dean and the Acting Dean, please. I know the Vice-Chancellor recognized the Chairperson of Council who was here. Let me add my words of recognition as well. Peter Dutoy as well. You wear so many different hats. I never know which one to use when I acknowledge you. COFSI or alumni or convocation, but you seem to wear so many different hats. And all the other members of the deans that are here and the vice rectors. And well done. Well done, Prof. You should have been here to see Prof. Krokamp this morning. He's kind of set a new standard now for all of you guys. So if there's a video, please go check that video so that you now know how it's going to be done going forward. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the only person that I've not thanked apart from the Vice-Chancellor, who I can't thank him, this is his occasion ceremony campus, but well done, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, is our guest speaker today. I almost want to say Johan Kriek, you know, the tennis player. You know, far away from you, but he was the more famous Kriek than the Kriek that you are. Mr. Dan Kriek, thank you, sir, for a message that I'm sure a few people in the audience, because of stereotypes and what they hear through the common media, would have been surprised by, in terms of the optimism that you shared with us about the future of agriculture, not just in this country, but on this continent. Because the common narrative is that agriculture is under attack, not just from politics, but from climate change, and from all these other factors. I was saying to the Vice-Chancellor as we were walking in here this afternoon, that the 2.2 growth in third quarter GDP that was announced yesterday or 2 days ago, the contribution of agriculture, it simply says agriculture and manufacturing. But I can tell you, when those numbers are unpacked, the biggest contributor would have been agriculture and not manufacturing, because I sit in boardrooms, I know how depressed manufacturing still is in this country. And I think it is agriculture. And given the role that you play, I'm sure if you are also disappointed that you didn't touch on that very important subject of land restitution. But with people like you advising the government, there is no doubt in my mind that we're going to end up in fairly good space, even with that very difficult national project that has to be embarked upon. But people like yourself will provide sound advice to those that have made choices and decisions, and I'm sure in the end, proper choices and decisions will be made. Thank you and congratulations to you, sir. This morning, the guest speaker carries a first name called Ace and the last name Moloi. And he spoke to us about storytelling. He's a storyteller. He wrote books. Again, like Mr. Creek is an alumnus of this university, and he's a storyteller, and he tells stories through the books that he writes. And he challenged all the graduates to tell their own stories. Find a way to tell your story. And I agree with him. I should tell my story. You should tell your story. But the stories that I tell and the stories that you tell must speak to the message of Mr. Creek, of this optimistic future that he sees. And as you look at your own story, you must reflect on what your role and contribution is going to be to make sure that the collective South African story, the collective African story, is a positive story. Things are starting to happen in this country that are starting to make even the skeptics amongst us, even the pessimists amongst us, to start to believe that a good endpoint to the story has just become very possible, if not very likely. The Zondo Commission is starting to create an opportunity for people to be very brave, when a few years back, it was very difficult and very risky to be brave and to tell the truth. Truth had become one of the saddest victims of our politique, because truth led to victimization, and victimization could be very severe. But new space has been created. New spaces have been created in their various forms for truth to be told, including truth being told to power. And the question is, when your story is written, when you write and tell your story, what will you say about the realization of the optimism that Dan Creek speaks about? I asked the chairperson of council as you're walking up here, what were his thoughts yesterday when the president announced the new director of public prosecutions? Those of us old enough to remember when she led that commission against corruption and match fixing in cricket, how resolute she was. Shamela Batoyi. And she's now gone out of the country, worked in the global legal system and humanitarian system, I may add. She's now coming to head the Directorate of Public Prosecutions in this country. I'm sure many of you will be all right when you say that there's a few more people who are now shaking in their boots as to what may just about to befall them. This is the story of this 24-year-old democracy as it unfolds and as it matures and as it develops. That's Shamela Batoyi's role. That's Judge Zondo's role. That's Judge Nugent's role. What's your role going to be? What will your story say about you? As either you write it or somebody else writes it about you. Are we still afraid? Do we still think that turning a blind eye is what I need to do personally because that's the only way I'll go ahead in life? Is it still possible that before that tender is given, both in the private and the public sector, and somebody says to you, but you can facilitate this tender through favors that you can do me, especially if you're female? Are we still going to let it happen? And new sets of platforms have just been established in the last year or so. I've said before that the first 20 years of this democracy, it was Mandela's democracy. It was his democracy. There are many things that could not even be spoken about because Mandela would not let you speak about them in his democracy. What has happened, and with the lawyers in the room, with the role that the judiciary got forced to play, and in some instances, overreaching, but overreaching in the best interests of society, because Parliament had abandoned its role. Civil society had abandoned its mission and mandate. And the judiciary decided that they were the last wall to defend and protect. And in some instances, I'm sure you as lawyers in the room, you know this better than I, they overreached. The case before the Constitutional Court as to whether Jacob Zuma should pay for the refurbishments in Kandla was only about whether he should pay or not pay. But the Constitutional Court decided to use that case to teach us all about what a constitutional democracy is all about. They decided to speak to the powers of the presidency and what it means to take an oath of office as the president of a country, and ended up making a statement about constitutional delinquency, which was not the matter before the court. But the national politic and the national social systems required the court to do that. But we should be careful, because the same court could overreach again in cases where society does not want it to go to. What then? And the only way to safeguard the sacredness of the separation of powers is for you and I, as citizens of this country, to play our roles and not leave it to the courts to do the work for us. And that's the story, the evolving story of this country that has to be told. And the key question is, what is your role in it going to be? Go out there and reflect on that message that came from this morning and from Mr. Dan Creek, and do us proud as the University of the Free State. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, round of applause for our graduates. This concludes the proceedings for the afternoon. The university takes pleasure in inviting all graduates and their guests for refreshments in the HMS to the west, which is to the left of this venue as you exit. Yani Marais, accompanied by the graduation instrumental ensemble under the direction of Anton Esterhazy, will shortly lead us in the singing of the national anthem. After that, you are requested to remain standing while the congregation is dissolved and the main and academic processions leave the hall. May you please rise.
See
By virtue of the power vested in me as Chancellor, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of the Free State.
Thank you.